Unresolved Problem segment tonight, more racial unrest, this time in Charlotte, North Carolina. One quick comment before we get to the story. Every American police officer should know that any mistake he or she makes involving violence toward a black suspect will now become a national story. Therefore, restraint and caution should be the order of the day. That being said, this program generally supports the police because we well understand the danger involved with the job. Last night in Charlotte, hundreds of people protested, some of them unlawfully, after police shot and killed 43-year-old Keith Scott.
I can just tell you what I know based on what we've gathered through the scientific process of going through the evidence. And we did find a weapon, and the weapon was there, and the witnesses corroborated it too.
Despite that, protesters set fires, looted, and blocked Interstate 85. Some demonstrators actually threw rocks at police, causing at least 16 injuries. The vigilante action was justified by an activist.
But what we're standing up for now is our black manhood and our black people who are being gunned down in the street, and we don't get no justice.
Also in Tulsa, Oklahoma, another troubling situation. This time, the black man shot dead 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher did not have a gun. Police say he was acting suspiciously. He may have been intoxicated. However, Crutcher's family lawyer, Benjamin Crum, says the man was no threat to the cops at all. Both local and federal investigators now examining the evidence. With us now here in Los Angeles, Leo Terrell, a civil rights attorney. So let's take Charlotte first.
Okay.
If the dead man did have a gun, all right, and it seems that he did, the protesters really have no right to go out and commit crimes themselves. I mean, I don't mind them going out and saying we're upset, we'd like to know what happened. I think that I would do that. But to throw rocks and to set fires and things like that, totally out.
Well, I agree with you. Throwing the rocks is wrong, but just having a gun is not justified for shooting or killing this man. Bill, we're assuming that this gun was posing a threat to the officer.
Right.
I cannot believe the police chief version of the facts yet. The facts are not even in yet. And you know what helps us?
Wait.
Okay.
If the police chief says,
yes,
which we all heard,
he wasn't there,
the man had a gun,
yes,
all right, and witnesses corroborate that, which he said, all right, then in a society that is built upon innocence until proven guilty,
yes,
you must at least consider that a credible source.
Wouldn't you conclude that's a rush to judgment before 24 hours, before a trial, before a DA gets involved?
I want to see this case investigated, yes, and evidence. But the protesters must abide, or we have anarchy, by the innocent until proven guilty adage.
So let me tell you the fundamental issue. We're talking about the Carolina case first, but you know why they can't say the same thing in the Tulsa case? Because we have video, we have a camera. If we don't have a camera here in Carolina, that's why the chief gets the liberty of saying, hey, everything was right. Well, and I'm telling you that there's a problem.
You are
there's no body. Yes,
of the chief. All right, I'm saying that he's entitled to the belief of what he's saying is true. But even if you're right that the police chief isn't being straight,
right,
all right, the protesters have no right to go out and do vigilante stuff, all right, at all in this case.
I'm not going to justify
a reasonable doubt.
I'm not going to justify the vigilante stuff. But Bill O'Reilly, can't you agree that with cameras we have learned that police officers lie,
sure,
they don't tell the truth?
In certain cases, well, that's absolutely true.
But why are we going to believe this police chief right now?
You have to.
There's a rush to judgment.
No, it's not. You have to give him the presumption of innocence like you give any citizen. Now let's go to Oklahoma.
Okay.
All right. So in Oklahoma, it's different.
Only because of a camera, Mr. O'Reilly.
Okay. Well. It's a different situation because the man wasn't armed. It's not the camera. He didn't have a gun. And the police chief there says that. He didn't have a gun. Okay, so now you have a dead American citizen, all right, with no gun, and obviously walking away from police, not confronting police. The thing will all hinge around a window, and we're investigating this case. We're not going to try it on TV, but we're going to have some new information on this tomorrow. But here, I agree that this is more unsettling, and that if you wanted to protest here, you have a little bit higher ground than in Charlotte.
And the only reason why we have a little higher ground because of that camera. Look, we wouldn't even know there.
No, because he had no gun.
We wouldn't even know that. You know what would happen if there was no camera? The police were in ongoing investigation. We can't release the information. That's the power of that video.
No, it isn't. I mean, if they could have, They could have said he had a gun in the car, he's reaching in the car. They could have done a whole bunch of things. The fact of the matter is the police in Tulsa were honest. And they said the man did not have a gun or a deadly weapon.
The police officers in Tulsa have to be honest because they were going to be impeached by the video. Bill, I'm just telling you right now, I'm not justifying the crime and the damage. I'm saying to you that black people have a problem trusting the police, and video has proven that officers don't tell the truth. I have a sister in the law enforcement.
Some officers.
And it's the 97% of the good officers that protect the 3% that are rotten to the core.
Okay. So if protesters know that these kinds of aberrations, A, shouldn't be tolerated, I agree with you. I mean, if the police are shooting down not only black, but anybody for, you know, because they're drunk, I mean, you can't do that. But on the other hand, the black community has to be somewhat restrained before it goes out and starts burning things down.
Let me just give you one other point.
Quick.
In that Tulsa case, remember the audio? That guy looks dangerous.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's black?
No, because
why
he was
that comment was
acting
made?
suspiciously, and they have a right to say he looks dangerous.
Oh.
They have a right to do that. They don't have a right to hurt him. And so, again, we'll have a follow-up on this Tulsa thing tomorrow. Councilor, always good debating with you.
My pleasure, Bill.